Hey, this is Dan with Honeymoon Always, and today we're going to take you along on some excursions we took while we were in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. We actually did 6 different activities, but we're going to share you our recommendations and the mistakes we made so you don't make the same ones.
And today we are headed on an excursion. There's Dan in the background. We're headed on an excursion to Dunn River Falls. We're gonna go horseback riding, ATV riding, zip lining, and exploring the falls, of course. We're going with Cheka Caribbean Adventures. They're gonna come pick us up from our resort, and we're on our way.
So the first excursion we went on was horseback riding, and we knew we were gonna go in the water, but I didn't realize that we were gonna get so deep in the water. So first, we're just walking on dry land, and then they have us hop off the horse, they change out the saddle. We get on the horses in the water, and they put a life preserver around us, and then they get waist deep in the water. So the horses are super deep in the water, and what I have now learned is that apparently being in the water really relaxes the horses, and they all pooped.
It'll be fun, they said. It'll be romantic, they said.
And because they were pooping, it was gross. We were all kind of like screaming and yelling about it, but they kept telling us that we had to keep our legs in the water and walk in a straight line. So there really was no avoiding it. So it was definitely a situation. One funny thing that came out of it was that a video of this that I posted on TikTok ended up going pretty viral for us. And it got picked up on Newsweek and MSN and Yahoo. So basically, just a heads up, if you go on one of these supposedly romantic horseback rides in the water, you are likely to get really deep into the water and the horses are gonna poop. So, tip from me to you.
ATV riding was fine. We've done it 2 other times and this was our least favorite. But what we did not film was waiting around for literally hours and needing to pay $18 for lockers and being asked for tips about half a dozen times during our first 2 activities. So we were pretty tired and frustrated. Next, they drove us to Dunn River Falls, and we got started ziplining, which went over the falls and was a lot of fun. Our last activity of the day was hiking up the falls, which was our favorite activity of the day. The water was refreshing, and we had a good time making our way up. You can also come here on a catamaran tour where you will not have to wait around as much as we did between activities, and you also avoid the gift shop area where there's some high pressure sales techniques going on.
So for our second day of excursions, I'll be honest, I wasn't super excited about it because I felt so overwhelmed from the first full day of excursions that we did and having had that not go super well. But they drove us up in a van after having picked us up from the resort. And then when we got there, they didn't require us to buy lockers, which was really nice because they had made us buy multiple lockers in the previous excursion. They let us just keep the stuff in the van. And I think that's because we booked directly through the resort instead of directly through the company, if that makes sense. So we left our stuff on the van and then we hiked up to the Blue Hole, which was super pretty. And then everyone jumped off it's about a 15-foot jump from the dock off to the Blue Hole. And the water was super fresh. People jumped off multiple times and it felt safe and fun. And I will say one girl did drop her Apple Watch, but they were able to catch it. So just be careful not to bring anything too valuable because they may not be able to get it up. Next, they took us up to an area to get safety gear, so a helmet and a life jacket, and then we got to go tubing. So they dropped us off at the top and they went all the way down with us and made sure that we were super safe, and it was just relaxing and slow. There were a few fun little adventure parts that definitely added some spice to the situation, but for the most part, it was just really beautiful and chill and one of our more favorite times tubing, honestly. And then they dropped us back directly off at our resort instead of dropping us off at the kind of Cheka main area that we had spent so much time at the previous day, which probably saved us about an hour of time, and we really appreciated that as well.
Sweet songs of melody pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. Hold on, my lady.
So that about wraps up our 6 different activities we did on 2 different excursions. So our first tip is to just do 2 activities a day. We did 4 on the first day, and it meant spending a lot of time driving around and a lot of time waiting around between the different activities. Also, bring lots of small bills since everyone will be asking for a tip, including the driver and all of the guides. If you bring 1s and 5s, then it'll make tipping a lot easier. We highly recommend all the activities we did except for horseback riding and the ATV ride, but go to the Blue Hole, it was so much fun, and Dunn River Falls for sure. We'll put links to all the activities in the description below, and let us know what you end up doing or any other tips that you have. As always, if you liked our video, I hope you'll like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Honeymoon Always.
I've got a month of May. I guess you say what can make